Justin, just an easy one off the bat to start with, the makeup of the team.
Yeah, so Nathan Coulton was out from the last 11, so that's disappointing, although it's great for him getting ready to play for Australia next week. So we have to decide whether to go for 4 quicks or 3 quicks and a spinner or the extra batsman. All these sort of things come into it, and I guess it changes because it's a day-night game. Our experience is that it's tough to play the seamers under lights. So that's something that we have to take into consideration. Yeah, look, Cricket Australia are obviously determined to play a day-night test match, so we've got to work out what the best one is. Having played with a yellow ball and an orange ball and last year with a pink ball, it's certainly different than playing with a red ball. My take always is that perhaps we could just use the white ball. It's proven if we play test cricket, and I know it's not traditional, and I know it's not traditional to play without white clothes, but having said that, playing a day-night test match isn't necessarily traditional either. So,
do you have to do anything differently batting at night? It probably seems a silly question.
No, it's a very good question because we've seen. Yeah, no worries, mate. I saw your stats in the paper this morning, so it's obviously more difficult. So one good question in 20 years. It's pretty impressive that. No, you do. I think it takes more time to adjust to the light anyway, whether you're playing one-day cricket. Then adjusting to the pink ball. You've got to, one of our, I guess, philosophies of batting here at the Wacky, you've got to be very, very diligent in your first 20 or 30 balls here, probably more so than other grounds. We might have to take that out to 30 or 40 balls because you've got to be a lot more watchful. The ball's not as clear, there's no doubt about that. It's hard enough to bat at the Wacker as it is, let alone with the under lights with a different coloured ball. So,
do you notice, as a player and being behind the stumps, do you notice a difference between the colour of balls? Can you explain it for someone who's never played before?
Oh, look, it's hard to explain it. Just during the day, I don't reckon there's too much difference. But we found last year during the nighttime sessions, we were normally batting, and we found it quite tough to pick it up. And but look, they've made a few changes to the ball, and hopefully, we see that tomorrow. Yeah, it's a nice feeling when knowing you're being sort of talked about that in that way. So the hard thing is try and focus on what you're doing, and if I keep hanging on to the catches, and if I chip them with a few runs, the good thing is age on my side, and yeah, hopefully one day possibly get the call up.
Does this experiment compromise those preparations at all? We've seen Chris Rogers pull out Victoria because he's colourblind.
Oh right, I didn't know that, but yeah, maybe. I'm sure Chris will get plenty of other opportunities. A break might do him the world of good as well. That as sad as that is to say for Australian cricket, that but he's just come back like Mitchell and Nathan Coulton, Mitchell Johnson. They'll probably need a bit of a rest. I mean, Chris played the whole season for Middlesex and played the last 2 test matches. So a break might do him the world of good. To be completely frank, sadly in a Shield game. But yeah, does it compromise? I think it'll still be really good, tough competition. And the other way is if they do play a day-night test match, then hopefully some of our guys that get selected in that test match will at least have experienced it a couple of times.